Good morning to all. Welcome to ImageGrafix Webinar. Okay, so at this opportunity, I welcome you all again to this ImageGrafix webinar on CADWorx 2018. What is new? That is updates and new features here. By the way, I am Visakan, working as National Technical Manager with ImageGrafix. Now, in today's webinar, the agenda is introduction. Following that, what is the new enhancements we have in CADWorx Plant 2018, and also new enhancements in CADWorx P&ID 2018. Now, this webinar will teach you on what is new in CADWorx Plant and P&ID 2018 version. So it's a look at the enhancements included in the latest version now. Now here are the enhancements overview. Okay, now 2018 of CADWorx has the compatibility with AutoCAD 2018 and as well with BricsCAD 2018. And also now we have ability to modify or control the default elbows used for auto routing. Okay, so while doing this auto routing, we can control or maybe you can choose the type of elbow which you want to use. And as well replace inline components or TopWorks or supports. So with a new grip which is introduced, so on top of that you can go for specify or choose what type of item you want to replace in that. Sloped or skewed routing productivity enhancement is there, and improved consistency between the SPECVIEW component list and also this optional component selection content is now easy to do now. Stub-in, Stub-on manual placement option provided for half couplings in this version. Generic attach command enhancements which is associated with center of gravity or tag location is available. Earlier in 2017 version or before, we have the tabs or the menus like CADWorx Plant 1, CADWorx Plant 2, and Steel or HVAC, or Steel and HVAC. Like that, we have the menus in that. But now, Steel is completely removed, as we all know that structure is available now, which is placed as a separate icon on your desktop, through which you can open or access the CADWorx structure, where you have the much more facilities than the steel option which was there in the previous versions. Now it is available in the CADWorx structure, which has both steel as well as the concrete in that. Support steel direct functionality updated to include latest CADWorx steel and concrete. Okay, that is CADWorx structure, steel and concrete. So when you are using the such kind of components like steel and concrete from your structure, so for that when you are going for placing your pipe support, steel direct option will help you to do so. Variable component length rule enhancements extended to to update commands. And as well, here we have the option to lock pipe support geometry when performing data or spec updates. Option to remove nipple length from your ISO material list. Okay, so that is option which is enabled under your CADWorx setup. Support icon figure project defaults, where you can do the updates or changes in your project defaults in your icon figure settings, so which will update in your isometric output template. Map isogen attributes to multiple drawing blocks attribute locations. Okay, so these are all the main updates here. And the other updates, now CADWorx 2018 for both CADWorx P&ID as well as Plant uses the local ak.pgp file, which is located in the respective CADWorx folder, that is for CADWorx Plant and as well as CADWorx P&ID support folder, where we have the PGP file located, and whatever the shortcuts you want, which you can enable there itself, and those shortcuts you can use in your CADWorx. Regarding the updates for the installation, Now the silent install support is available. Okay, so if you want to do the silent installation of your CADWorx, it's possible now. And also, while going for doing the installations, sometimes you'll find things like, okay, I mean, it is not proceeding further for the installation. So, which is, I mean, basically controlled by the redistributable, I mean, tools. Okay, now we have options to skip that particular installation. Okay, so if you have already installed in your machine, you don't need to go for reinstalling those things, or maybe overwriting those things of redistributable items in it. And updated plant or structure object enablers are available now. Specification format, okay, normally when the version comes, you will have some format changes for the specification, but in 2018 there is no change for your specification. So now still it is 2017 or 2017 R1 is followed. Still legacy function is removed in this CADWorx plan 2018. As far as P&ID is concerned, now reducer insertion enhancement is there. When you're going for inserting a reducer, so there you can choose the pipe, the process line, okay, and also you can control the size of it, okay, and as well the added the PID updated, DWG from DB, okay, command to update drawing from your database. Enhanced the process lines when you move a corner grip. Okay, that is when you hold your corner grip of a process line, and if you move, suppose if it is taken as a branch or something else, if you move that process line will get updated along with the components what you have placed. And this update is possible until the next component placed on that particular process line in that. Okay, because it will not go beyond that particular component. Fine. So these are all the enhancements what we have. So with this, I will take you through the things in detail, whatever we have seen. Okay. The first thing is CISA to 2018 support is available. So as usual, how we are going for this CADWorx plan setup dialog, where under this configuration settings, where you will find the CISA to supported versions. In that list, now you can see the 2018 is also included into it. Okay, so you can choose any of the versions whichever you require, and you can proceed further for taking your C2 out from here. Auto route enhancements. So for the elbow type and also the spec options here, now we have show available for for the elbow type. Normally we have the long radius and short radius and meter elbow, and along with that we have the show options available in this. Now with the help of this show, you can go for doing this as an auto route easily with any elbow permitted by the spec, and also the adjust the auto route elbow selection from one run to the next. So show specifications like spec option or for duration of the auto route run will prompt only when elbow type selection is applicable. Available with butt weld, socket weld, threaded, that is auto route SPECVIEW right click method is available to select, and it can be enabled or disabled while in auto route command. Okay, so these are all the functional development we have in this. And as far as spec option is concerned, extended to provide access to all components spec for the applicable route, and prompts only when more than one selection is available to choose from. Properly support reducing branch components also now enabled here under the spec option now. With this, if you see this auto route enhancements, okay, so now here from this T, I'm going for starting one pipe with an elbow and going for connecting this. Okay, so with the elbow type, now you see we have the show options where we can choose what type of elbow which you want to use from this list. Okay, based on the selection what we made, the elbow get changed or updated, and then we can go for doing that with the auto route command. Okay, so which will get corrected to that over here. Okay, so that is the auto route enhancements for default elbow selections we have. Similarly, replace inline TopWorks or pipe supports is possible. Now, if you see on the picture which is showing on this slide, we have one line, and below that there is one downward triangle is there, which is the grip for replace the component. And similarly for TopWorks grip option, you can find the other icon display, which is showing that for the TopWorks icon selection, to replace. New grips provided for easy replacement of existing components like a two-way, three-way, four-way valves, couplings and unions, elbows, tees, flanges, expansion joints, bleed rings, spectacle blinds, caps, plugs, top hooks, and pipe supports. So all these things can be replaced with the help of the grips, which is available once if you select that object. Okay, so with the help of those grips, you can go for do the selection changes in that. Available replacement components listed with the matching size, end type, and configurations only. Replace comps is the command. Okay, replace comps is the command to replace commands in batch. If you want to do more selection at a time, for example, if you have a group of elbows and those elbows, if you want to replace in that, in such cases, you can go for replace comps command and you can do it. Or if you want to do that with go with a single object, you just highlight that object and then go for do the replacement of this of the component. Replacement component listing observes SPECVIEW settings, that is show optional components, which is available in the SPECVIEW now. Okay, under the settings of the SPECVIEW. Now, if you go for the replace components, here I have the set of elbows. I'm just going for this replace comps command, where I'm going for selecting the elbows. Okay, so replace command comps is the command here. So with that, I'm going for making the selection of this elbow. You see, I'm choosing the window for making the selection, and then for making the change. Okay, so how what things you want to change in that. Okay, so now I'm going for choosing one particular type of elbow to replace it. At once it will get updated to all. And also if any changes happen to the other objects also, it will highlight and show that, okay, so these are all the respective things which will get updated to it. And similarly, replacing TopWorks. So going for selecting that particular thing. Now you see you have the option for replacing that particular thing for that valve. Okay, so now this is a type of TopWorks which I'm placing now. Okay, so after that, again selecting the TopWorks and clicking on the respective icon to replace the TopWorks, selecting that to replace it. Okay, so now this has made much easier for us to proceed further. Okay, by saving the time on replacing the components. Unlike before, you don't need to go for delete that particular component and then going for new item, so which is not required anymore. And replacing pipe support grips. Now I have placed a specific pipe support in this. Okay, in this particular pipe, I'm just going for selecting this. Okay, now you see it is showing this a clevis hanger flat top, which is a pipe support here. Just going for selecting this and choosing the respective grip point to change the type of the support. Okay, so now once if you make the change and also going for doing the insertion process as usual. Okay, now the pipe support get replaced. Okay, so from the older one. Okay, now we have the V bottom type is cliffhanger V bottom item is placed in this now. Similarly, replacing elbows. So while going for this, replace comps command. So where I can go for choose this components. Okay, so now again I'm going in the selection of these things and to do it. Okay, now here it looks like the same procedure which I did earlier. I'm going for proceeding this. The difference between these two are the earlier one was with AutoCAD, and now we have the CADWorx on BricsCAD. We have to show all the changes here. Now sloped or skewed routing productivity enhancements. Now here we have the sloped routing. Now this supports elbow length toggle, observes routing alignment types like BOP, TOP and COP, provides a vertical option to easily keep risers vertical, provides a connection option to easily connect sloped lines between 2 points. Okay, provides a use preview settings option, so which is available in your command prompt itself to choose. and supports now provide vertical option by sloped lines. Now, I mean, all these things which is listed, but that is to if you want to change the or maybe the toggle the elbow length. Okay, now it is possible to do while going for doing the sloped routing. Okay, and also routing alignments with respect to the bottom of pipe, top of pipe, and also the center of pipe is possible now. And also provides a vertical option to easily keep your risers vertical here. Okay, so like this, we have options in the sloped routing. And similarly, when you go for the skew option while going for doing this routing, now acts like a toggle to on and off. Okay, so that is available now. And with the skew option, on during routing and the skewed connections allowed within the skew angle tolerance. Okay, so what tolerance we are maintaining. So within that, we can go for making the skew connections allowed in that. Outside skew angle tolerance, trimmed elbows will be applied if permitted by elbow rule and the elbow types. And the skew option state on and off maintained during the sloped routing. Okay, so when you are going for doing the slope routing and also the skew options when you are choosing in that, so there we have the option state, the skew option state on and off is maintained during that. Now, when you're going for doing the auto connection from this, okay, in this particular example, I'm going for starting a routing from this T and defining, specific dimension for the, height for this rise of this. Okay, and then going for, taking the skew for this. Okay, so where I can go for choose the slope inside it. Okay, so defining or choosing the respective options. Okay, so which I need to do this. I have selected the meter option in this, and going for, defining a length, and following that, I want to make a from this to connect from that end what I am, stopping with, and then going for auto connect to connect that to the pump end. Now, once if I define this, okay, so now as usual with the auto route options, we can go for choose, okay, so which line options you want to proceed with. So with the placing the coupling into it, right, so clamp into it and inserting the same over here. Okay, so now if I see that in the particular respective thing, now you see I can see the changes with respect to the skew and slope which I have placed with this particular example of the pipes over here. Okay, now following to that, I would like to take the isometric of this. Okay, so for that, I'm going for adding the start or stop sign to it. Okay, so going for adding the stop time sign to a specific location, that I'm going for, creating or generating the isometric of this particular line which I have, which I created now. So going for the isogen style, choosing it, and selecting the particular set of components which I have created now. Okay, so now this is the output which I have. Okay, so which is showing for the slope which we have done with this thing, right? And also the respective material list related to it. And similarly, so when you're going for the vertical option for the slope or skew, okay, so going to the same point where I'm taking the pipe up and defining the elbow. Okay, so which is going to be a 90-degree elbow, so which I have taken from this, and then going for creating the skew in this. And further going for creating the pipe in the direction which I want to create in this here with a specific length as 7000, and going further to create the pipe to join to a particular point in the pump which is placed here, right? So now with this, you see, so this end of the pipe, so which I am proceeding, so I'm going for using the vertical option to make the connection to it. Okay, this time I'm not going for using the auto route option. This, so instead I'm going for using the vertical option where I'm going for placing the clamp and inserting it. Okay, so wherever it's a possible for you to do a manual connection in this. So in such cases, you can use this option of this vertical to, do this over here. Okay, so now you see the elbow, so which is taken accordingly to this, right? Now this is the another thing. So where I'm going for making the route of this pipe, placing the pipe support here in this slope. Okay, so standard procedure of placing this and taking that pipe from that pipe and defining the support location for placing it. Okay, so now the sloped pipes also you can go for define the pipe support now. That is the placing the vertical pipe support. Now the next one is we are going for making the half couplings on the slope pipe here. Okay, so starting the pipe from the thing, the main pipe here, and going for inserting the components. So with the half couplings to it. Right, so now it got inserted. As per the requirement or maybe the point which I am selecting for. Inserting these things. Right. So going for inserting the, for further components. Okay, on the distance. Okay, so either taking from the endpoint or maybe on the pipe. Okay, so where you want to insert into it. Okay, so now these are the components which I have inserted to this. Okay, so where we have defined with the points to insert, and also here we have the things for the stub-in as well as the stub-on. So where we have the manual placement. In this, if you see the first, the coupling which I have inserted here, it says of the stub-in type, and also the other one is other two are the stub-on. So where we have the manual placement options available for you to do so in this. And also the default locations where we can define the tag locations which you can define over here. Okay, so this is the this one. What is that? I'm going for placing the custom component here for generic thing. Okay, for generic attach, where I'm defining the properties for it. Okay, so with the weight and the other things over here, and going for attaching those things to as the default to it. Okay, and selecting this particular component for for with the properties which I have done. And also here with our the total CG calculations. Okay, so now we can do the add the CG to that particular, that is the center of gravity to the generic attach what we did. Okay, so even though it is not intelligent CADWorx component, so here we can do the CG for that particular object. Okay, CG as well as the tag which we can go for attach to this. Now updating the steel deduction. Okay, to the either to the steel or the concrete when you're going for make the support. Okay, now with the help of the CADWorx structure, I'm going for inserting slab. Okay, so with that, I'm going for attaching a pipe support to it. Okay, so through our pipe support library, choosing the pipe support by enabling the deduct steel or concrete option to it. Okay, so just to select the elbow and then selecting to the particular concrete component. Okay, so that get placed on the concrete component here. Okay, you don't need to exactly or precisely place on it. Just drag and place it point in the bottom, so that will get updated or placed exactly on top of the concrete section here. Now, variable component length rule enhancement is available now. Okay, so which you can do that with use catalog length, or maybe you can go for the options here to do it now. Now, in this particular thing, going for selecting the, placing the components in this, okay, starting from a pipe, okay, and going for inserting a valve, right? So, inserting the valve here for a specific length to this. Okay, so this is the standard or the normal scenario here. Okay, suppose if I want to control the length of the component what I inserted, so I'm going for the setup and going to make a change on this variable component length option. Okay, and choose that as the show options. Now I'm going for inserting a valve to it. Okay, choosing the type of valve which you want to insert it. Okay, which is a control valve. And here you can define the length what you want for this valve which you are placing. Okay, now you see the length of the valve is different from the one what we have inserted from as per your catalog settings earlier. Okay, so now this is another wonderful thing we have where we can play with the length in this. And also change data rule. Now it can lock the pipe support geometry. Okay, so that option is also enabled as the enhancement here. So if required, we can go for enable this pipe support geometry to, if you don't want to make the changes to it here. Now in this, we have one pipe support placed to this. I'm going for the convert from project data here for change this. Now it get updated with the size over here. Now going for this, and then applying this settings for not to disturb or not to change any pipe support geometry here with this, right? Now go for this convert from project data here and making the change. Now you see it is not updated anymore. Okay, so this is an option where you can lock your pipe support which you have placed on the screen. Okay, so similarly, if I'm going for this pipe support under my catalog, now we have the values which we have entered. Okay, so here for the web height things. Okay, now going for change that value as a -1 for this, and going for inserting a pipe support into this. Okay, to after okay, inserting that component on a pipe. Right. So now we have option to play with the height of, variable or the length of the pipe support here. Okay, at any point of time, you can go for change the, variable height of the pipe shoes. So isogen append nipple length on ISO material list. Okay, so now if you see the images on the right hand side, hope it's clearly visible for you. Okay, so where the first one which is enabled with the that is isogen append nipple length. Okay, so where it shows the length of the nipple, okay, as 6 inches here, but the same if you see the other option where it is set as no, that particular length is not visible. Now I'll show the same here on the screen for you. Okay, so going for changing the settings of this, nipple length control here to append it. Okay. Now taking this particular, the pipe to this. and going for generating the isometric of the same, selecting this component for generating the isometric, and the resultant isometric. Okay, so we have, and if I zoom to this material list, and if you see now here you have the length of the nipple is showing over here. Now similarly, if I go for the setup and if I set the value as no for it, and going for generating the isometric in the same fashion, and selecting the pipes for the components for the isometric, the resultant isometric, now you see there is no length mentioned in it. Okay, so this can be controlled by the setting of this isogen Append nipple length. Now support for iConfigure project defaults can be done. Okay, so where if you go for your tutorial project defaults, okay, so where you can define the the attributes into it. Now I'm using this particular style of this isogen for generating the isometric of it. Okay, now here you have the isometric output, and also if you see here the site painting, okay, there is no information is entered here, but I require that information to be added in it. In such cases, you can go for your tutorial project defaults, and under this you can enter your default value here, what value you need for your painting spec. Okay, so paint number 1, which I have entered into this. Okay, and with that, going for generating the isometric of the same. And after generating the isometric, following to the selection which you are making to it, now you see the value what I entered there for default value which I entered for site painting is available here in my ISO output. Okay, the same if I'm going for the isogen project data setup. Okay, so there also I can go for enter values as the default here. This. Right, so making the selection. Okay, so now like this, you can go for enter the values over here. So with the help of this iConfigure project default settings in this. Now, as far as P&ID is concerned, here we listed or maybe we discussed in the beginning of the slides. So when I have the set of process lines available here, and if you want to select the grip points of it and drag it here, now you see it get updated along with the components what we have available in that particular process line. Okay, and even this type is also possible, where we have the line in different directions. So that also can be stretched without disturbing its flow direction, right? And when you are going for similarly, selecting the process line and also going for moving a particular component in it. Okay, so earlier this is not possible. Now it is possible for you to move the components what you have placed. Okay, so within your P&ID drawing, wherever you want to place, so in all places you can move it. Okay, so the facility is there, so we can choose and use the thing accordingly into it. And when you're going for adding the reducers, okay, so choosing the reducer to insert it on a particular process line. Now, when I'm inserting the reducer, so based on the size which we have defined for this power, the main and the reducing. So now it will take the size for this process line. So now it is 50 by 40. It is. Okay, so all the lines on the left hand side of this is showing us 50. Now going for changing the size. Okay, main as 80 and reducing as 60 for this, for instance, and going for inserting a reducer, right? So now it is 80 by 50. Now you see the val on the left hand side, which was 50 earlier, because the process line size was 50. Now, because of the reducer size, now your process line and also the other related components also get updated here. Okay, so this facility is now available for us to use this. Installation updates, silent installation supported for all of AutoCAD and BricsCAD. Refer to documentation for the additional details, which is the installation support in this, or you can contact us for any support on this. And the option to skip redistributable installation. So now this option is available when you are going for the window where you will enter the serial number of for your CADWorx. In that, if you scroll down in the bottom, you will see this run distributable option checked. And if you don't want, you can disable that thing. So which will help you to proceed further with the installation. So without any issues on it. Okay. So now these are all the main updates what we have here. Okay. So now thank you for your attention.